Okay, we're going to weld up the carburetor body here, our linkerts. So this is one we just did here. We soldered the wear mark, which is right in there. You can see it. So lay it right in that edge right there. So we're using our official soldering paste under here. You have to figure out what brand that is. Everflux. And we're using something called real lead. 6040 solder, and that cheap ass tin crap. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get in here and lay it. So here, you can work the camera, not the flashlight. Two things at once don't work. All right, get it in there. You remember how the zoom works?
Try it.
Okay, first thing I do is take some flux on your brush over here and dab it right exactly where you want it to be, which is right there on this one. You go ahead and heat it from below. We got a real small, faint tip here. Heat the body from below. The flux will start bubbling when it gets up to heat. Starting to warm up a little bit. Just kind of lay it in there right where we want it. More heat. Just work on it slowly until it starts to melt. You don't want it to fall in that hole over there, so you got to hold the carburetor where gravity doesn't make it go down in the hole. There it is. See how that just went in there? Or you miss it when you moved.
Oh, I got it.
Then we just rotate it slightly until we get to the next spot. And it just flows right in there with that flux. See how nice that flowed in there? And I still got this part over here because I didn't melt that too much. I can concentrate where the heat goes pretty quickly. It's cold enough here today, it cools off quickly. Okay, and then you flip it over to the other side. Let me see if some light in there. See, that's all the way to our transfer slot's worn. But I don't want to fill up that transfer slot, that'd be bad. So get some more flux, get the whole layer in there. Get the carburetor too hot, you'll melt the lead up on the other side and cause more problems. So you want to get to right where it just melts, no extra. Almost. There it goes. See, right up to the hole, but not to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let that cool a little bit. Gotta get the body right where it works for you. I'm gonna do it on this other side. And melt it right in there again. So it solidifies. Melt it and solidify, let it kind of self-level a little bit. And we're right on the edge of that slot, see how it's not quite all the way in there. I'm going to go a little bit further back. There, see how it went back there? Our next spot. We'll put some fresh flux on there. Do it again. Oop. See how the solder just melted in there? Rotate it again. Make sure we still got the solder up on top where we want it to be. Okay, now we're going to get right next to this hole here. Put the light in there, I can see it. There it goes. See how close you get that? And you see how it's right up the transfer slot hole, but not quite to it? Can you see it from your side?
Mm-hmm.
So, that's all it takes.
Nicely done.
There's a view where you can see it better. Now you go in there, you clean it out with a little fine file,
And it's all good to go.
and don't scratch the body up very much. Pocket knife will cut a little bit too.
Yeah, very nice.
So we'll work on that later.
Okay.
Close it in. Now we're back on these linkert carburetors. Got a third one here in the mix. This one here we're leaving a natural finish, but we blasted the inside of it. And now you can see. And also the inside where the float bowl goes, left the rest of it filthy and crappy looking. Just like the customer wanted. These ones here we cleaned up. They look a little different. Okay, these two here are the ones that had the solder up inside of here. So that's what it looks like after I machined them. See two different ones here. So this one here needs to get done on it. See right here, it looks nice and clean. No wear marks. Over here, you can see the wear mark in there. So we're going to go ahead and weld it up just like we did the ones over here. So we'll take it back, we'll solder it up, we'll come back and work on that. We're also going to go ahead and change out our throttle shaft bushings right here. Even though this is a new carb rebuild, 90% brand new original or brand new aftermarket crap, otherwise known as parts. For some reason they didn't feel like replacing the stuff that's bad, which is the throttle bushings here. So this here is loose. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's rattling pretty good. So they put a new shaft in, but didn't put the bushings in it. So I'm going to go ahead and put new bushings in it. So these are the bushings that are laying down here. Now the way to get these out is you take a metric tap and a metric bolt. There's the brand new bushings right in here. You go ahead and tap into the bushing here, then you put the metric bolt into there, and you see how I got a bushing laying in it. And then that would be sticking up in here. Oops. And then you just go ahead and tap this down with a hammer, and it shoves the bushing straight out the back side in here. Actually, that's not how you do it. Wrong. Take back. You put this into here, and you put a pinch in, or a punch through here, a long drift punch, and then you knock it out this way. There's actually a shoulder in there. So, yeah, it's not even late yet. Anyway, here's the metric tap. So this is the size we use right here, whatever that is. So somewhere in there you can see a size. I couldn't see it, but yeah, whatever. Figure it out later. What it says in there. Somewhere it says what it is. There, it's a 7x100. Perfect. Alright, so go ahead and do that and we'll come back. Okay, I'm getting ready to do the tap. Pull these bushings out of here. So here's the tap. Got it stuck in the hole a few threads. You don't want to thread it all the way through because you don't need to. Just use a little T-handle wrench here. Okay, so once you get that in there, you can see how there's some threads in there. Just a little bit. Take your metric bolt. Just a couple turns. Have a drift punch, big long one. Goes all the way through. Goes through both sides there. A little hard to go through there with the. I already threaded it. Alright. So it goes through like that. And you go ahead and knock it out with a hammer. See what happens. sure this one's in there good and tight. It's a little bit harder to hold it while I do that. So you get to watch over there while I hit it. I heard it pop out. The punch came out, it went over to there. Alright, so that one's out now. So just unscrew it off. Punch out. Stick it here on the other side. Do the same thing. Knock it out. One even further. Actually, that one didn't thread in far enough. See, the bolt came out. So that's called a screw up. Threads on that one. So you can throw it in a little bit deeper. Use that tripod when you need it. Yeah, over there. Yeah, that can work. Two hands at once, see? Alright. The end of the bolt got screwed up a little bit there. So that ain't going far enough. Alright. Deeper. Try this again. What happens here? Alright, it's in the right spot. And that time it came out. See? Alright, so now the bushings are out of the holes there. Holes are not damaged. We're good. Now I went in and soldered it already, so you can see the solder in there right now. Solder at the bad spot. Didn't discolor the body, anything on the outside. As long as you keep it under 600 degrees, you shouldn't discolor the body. So you be careful with your torch. Alright, now, next thing is bushings. There's a bag of bushings. So when you get bushings, they come in multiple sizes even though they're all supposed to be the same. So this here is his throttle shaft that he was using, which is a new one. And if you notice, this bushing goes right on there. It's got a big hole in it. Now when you press it into the body in here, into here, it will shrink a little bit and get tighter. But it probably won't be really tight, just barely tight. So if you want an easy job, you use that. You might not do much fitting at all. Now, if you want to do a little bit more work, you take bushings like this that are a little bit harder to go on. See, they only go on a little ways. So they're a little bit tighter. And you want to talk about a half dowel what's the difference in these bushings, but they vary. So see this one, these two here are a little bit tighter. So I'm going to go and use these two. So you got to go ahead and put these in there. You can knock them in with a hammer and a punch, which I don't like doing. You can put them in a big vise, which isn't very good either. Or you can do it in a hydraulic press, how I do it. When you press on these, you got to make sure that you do not push on your stop block up here. You want to push right on the body. And the bushing goes until it's flush. And on this side over here, if you go down until it hits up here flush, it's actually kind of sunk down slightly, or kind of bored down a little bit. So you actually have to push right here on this edge right here, not over here on this surface here, like most people do. If you push right against this surface here, you're pushing an angle. Basically, you're cocking it like that, and you're pushing the bushing in sideways, which is not good. So I have a little pressing block I push against on this side, and then I'll push down on this side with another one, and squeeze between two shoulders so you don't have that problem. So, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and push these together, and we'll come back. All right, here's our press here. Got the carburetor body in here. So you can see the block up under here. I'm up on the shoulder, off that shoulder right there. And then I got this one here coming by, and I'm clearing the stop block here. You can see I got that much more to go. So we just push it down a little bit. You come by and rotate the carb, make sure there's no binding. You go Go down a little bit deeper. Do a quick rotate again. That kind of self-centers it. Lightly push again, but not very much. So I only use about that much, but almost a ton, not quite. So you can still kind of move this here even without much pressure, but if you get much pressure in that, you can buckle the body here and you'll be screwed. Alright, so that's how that one goes in there. Release the pressure a little bit. Slide it up. There you go. So you got 2 piece machine blocks that are machined equally on both sides, and that's what you press against. So now this one's in. Now this one has some wear on the bottom down here. So even though there's a lip down here with a bushing sticking above the surface, it's actually flush with the surface out here. It's just it's got a shoulder, a groove on the body right in there. So we'll wear on top of the bushing now. This one here is more flush on this side. Doesn't have that wear mark in it. Okay, so now these are ready to go work on the cutting out the bore in here, and then we got to hone these things to size. So there you go. That's how you use the press. Okay, here's the lathe here. Got a reamer right here. This is a adjustable one. It's what size was this? I already forgot. It's something. It's the one that fits inside of here. How's that? I forget what the hell it was though. These are 1¼ carburetors, but I think these are 1 5/16 reamers. I think they're 1/16 bigger. Alright, well either way, it doesn't matter. It's the one it takes to fit it. This one here is an adjustable, so you can back this off to lower than standard size, because these are about 5 under 1 5/16. I think that's what they were. One way to find out, walk over here. Grab that thing right there. Caliper. Then we know what size it is. Instead of guessing. Because I already forgot. Too much crap going on. Ooh, look at that. It says 1 3/75. So it's 1 3/8. So there you go. Okay, this one here is under that. It's about 74. 74 and a half. Depending on where you measure. And which flute you're on. 72, 73. Close enough. Alright. Now I've been working this over with my stone, knocking off the burrs. It's the third body here. So what I do is I take the honing stone right here. This is an Arkansas honing stone. Tan, whatever grit that is, fine. And this here was leaving burrs in the body. So first as you hit the top up here, so you're leaning against the other flute right next to it there. You go like that. Then you roll it over like that on the cutting edge. And then on the leading edge, which is the actual cutting edge, I go like that, which dulls it slightly. Because we don't really want to be cutting the body out any. If it's out around, we want to cut slightly, but we don't really want to be cutting the body any because it just makes it loose, the venturi looser in there. We only want to cut out the leaded part that we just fixed. So I dull this on purpose for that reason. Alright, so now you take this, a little cutting oil on there, put a little cutting oil over here. Cutting oil's good. Don't need a lot, just a little. Okay, I got my lathe in low gear. Gauge the back gears. I'm in neutral, but it's still pretty hard to rotate even in neutral. All the gear ratio you're going through. This is my clutch here. I leave it off. That way if the body tries to rip out of my hand, it won't be too bad. See, it rotates. You can hold it back. That way it won't tear up anything. At least not much. Okay, I just hold on to the body here with my hand like this. Stick it in here. It starts to grab, just let go. Okay, so there we go. We just go like this. Right now we're cutting the body a little bit, it's out around. We're getting over to where the lead is, so it's getting a little harder. Keep going. chuck starts to stop a little bit there. Not much though. Okay, we're coming out the back side here. We just keep running all the way through until it gets smooth. And I just let go. I'll take any more metal out and I have to. Slide it out. And now your lead is cut out. And the rest of the body, hopefully, didn't get cut all that much. You can see how it's out around in there a little bit. Cut slightly, but not much, mainly rubbing. But you can see it's out around. Okay, so the biggest thing is the lead's now cut. Okay, after we do that, then we go over here to the honing machine, which is way over here. Just happen to have a manual set in here. This is real fine. And we go ahead and hone this. Stick that in there and hone it a little bit. This ought to be fun doing with one hand. Okay, see the oil we got on everything. Okay, make sure the stone's well lubed. Make sure the body's well lubed. And see if you hurt yourself. Pull out, see what you got. So there's the top of the body. There you go. Can't even see the bone where I did it. Down in there is lead. Such a fine you don't even see it. But it's in there. A little stripe of it. How much we get. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and go clean this up a little bit, and we'll come back and look at it. Okay, here's the carburetor all cleaned up. You can see the little bit of solder right down there, right at the edge of that hole there. So, very, very little trail of it. So, this other side, you can see there's nothing on this side here. It's only on this side over here where we did the welding. So, and it's very, very little fill to do, and it's got that done. Okay, next problem is, our next thing to do, we're going to get the surface of the machine flat. To do that, I have an expanding mandrel here, which goes over this here. And this will hold the carburetor and the lathe, and the lathe carburetor will spin. You can cut the faces this side or this side over here. But before we get to that point, we need to get the flanges squared away. Now these flanges get bent, so you put your straighters up on there. You look at them and see how much light that you can see up under there, and then you can either cut it all the way, which makes the carburetor really weak, or you can do like I do. I beat the hell out with a hammer, which ought to piss everybody off. Okay, right now if you look at these two corners, they're high and the center is low. There's a gap up under there. I don't know if you can see it. I think I can kind of see it. And then the other thing is this corner over here bends up too. It's a little bit harder to do, but it can bend up also. This one here doesn't look like it's bent up on that side, but these two ears are just slightly. So what we do is you take a ball peen hammer. You take one that has a real nice, well smoothed up surface and lots of years of beating on it with crap. And you go ahead and just hit it right on the flanges. You're not supposed to beat them when you're up on this table either, but oh well. Give it a little bit of love tap. Kind of beat it back down a little bit. And you get it down until where it's pretty flat. That's what you're after anyway. So this one here is pretty good. I'll just lightly hit it again. Now when you hit on it, you don't want to be hitting right on this edge. Where you can see it here. Like that, that'll bend and that'll break this ear off right here. You want to hit it as flat as you can on the whole face. Like that, without hitting your lip over here. Now you could put, like that pressing block I use, you can put that on here and hit it. Or if you're pretty good like I am, just kind of hit it lightly. But both ways will work. So if you lightly hit it, doesn't really matter anyway. But okay, you get to where it looks pretty good. Looks good that way. You look in multiple planes here. So you look at several different angles here. So it looks pretty good overall. I don't know if you can see in there, but you roll around the edges, make sure it's pretty flat. Definitely want to get this one up in here and there. Make sure it's not sticking up. Okay, once you get it close, then we go ahead and cut it with the lathe. So that requires us just to put the mandrel in here. Let's go ahead and do this leading edge here. Slide up in there like that. Put this in the lathe over here, and you hold it. A little bit bigger up there. Too far. Adjust it close. There we go. Okay, let's transfer over to our lathe. That's what this thing's for. It's got that reamer in there right now that we gotta get rid of. One thing I forgot to do before I did that is I wanted to run our tap right here through these holes right here, make sure they are cleaned out and burr free and grit. So you just take this here, run your tap to it, make sure the holes are cleared out of crap. You can see a bunch of dirt and crud coming out. Oops. That's a good spot for it. So you can see well, it all fell off and hit the floor. Oh well. So let me do the other one. You can see the crap on the backside there. It's just cleaning dirt and crud out, a little corrosion. Not really cutting any real metal out. If you're cutting metal out, you got something wrong. That would be bad. Okay, all the crud's running out the hole. So now those holes are nice and cleaned out in there. Now we're good to put it in the lathe. It's going to spin around like that. The first thing I do is lock it in the lathe here. You just tap it on there to do it. In case no. So what I do, I can get a punch where I can push on the inner sleeve and do it that way. So I'll go get that and be right back. Okay, let me grab the punch. Stick that lightly inside to catch the sleeve in there. Ideally, use a piece of tubing. We don't have any laying around right now, so I'll have to make one down the road. And you beat it a little bit tighter, we're in there. Okay, now that's locked on the lathe now. Now I go ahead and move this over and cut it. First thing you want to do is see how far off it is. Center in there. Alright, let's get this around here where you might be able to see a little bit better. Right in my way, that'll be interesting. This ought to get real fun to do here. All right, you'll get it about right there. Get right in my line of vision where I can't see either. Okay, nothing like setting the camera up. I'm sure that's very exciting to everybody. Over there you can see a little bit what's going to happen. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is go in there and see how close it is. A little bit off on the bottom there. Okay, back it off. See how nice it spins. Make sure it doesn't wobble real bad. Oh, we're in low gear right now. Maybe we should fix that problem a little bit. Yeah, a little bit faster might help. Excuse me. Okay, I'll make sure the body is spinning nice and true. Looks pretty true to me. Just come in until we just touch. Right there. Different angle over here for you to look at. That angle sucks. That's a little better. Okay, so now you can see where it's hitting the cut right here along the bottom. Cut fairly evenly, as you can tell. Didn't cut here. We're not cutting it all right on this face up through here. The carburetor itself wasn't machined square at the factory, would be my guess. If you look at the center bore right here, and if it's not wobbling around, you know you're pretty true. So you can see how true it is to the surface there. Yeah, it moves around when I stand on it, doesn't it? So the carburetor was never true from the factory, it looks like. Here, we're going to pull that back out. A few more thou. We don't want to cut any more than we have to here. You hear how it's cut now? That's good. Right there is it. Okay, now you look at your body and see how much it's cut. Looks like we cut the whole surface. Nice and clean. Alright, that's what we're looking for. Get that out of the way. So you can see how that's nice and clean and shiny. And now it's dead flat, just like you want it to be. Okay, we're going to flip this around. We're going to do the other side over here. Just pull it back off the noise off and hurt. We'll go ahead and pull this off of the expanding mandrel here and flop it around and take another cut, and then you'll come back. We'll show you what it looks like when it's all off the thing, but you can see how nice and smooth that is now. Gives you a good finish. It looks nice. And it's flat. That's even better. Alright, there we go.